pregnant, you know what I'm gonna take? Some Tylenol, acetaminophen. It's gonna work like a charm.
Yeah, I've heard about this. I think if you take Tylenol when you're pregnant, there is a risk that your child would become autistic. I think that's the news. What I heard from Trump. I would believe it personally. I wouldn't take the risk, you know.
And my baby won't have autism.
I always feel like we finally hit peak stupidity, but then things happen. And once again, I am proved wrong. Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. And today is an especially bumpy hell gondola ride indeed.
That's a
also,
good looking
I really
mug.
quickly want to make note of some things happening over with my tea company. If you are new here, I have a little tea business. I make yummy little blends. Number one, my winter flavors will probably be back in stock tomorrow. I'm pretty sure that's when I get my newest shipment. So like I said, no pre-sale. I don't like throwing things away. And I have a bunch of tea that's going to be expiring at the end of November, more or less. Although tea doesn't really expire.
Yeah, I don't have
until
money for that for the
individually
meantime,
sealed,
so I'll skip
for
it.
50% off on, or you have a
Next
cafe
time.
or somewhere that serves tea drinks, please reach out to me because I have been giving no strings attached tea to people, to churches, and to, if I don't sell all these boxes and through other businesses. That's all flavors.
I'm
if you're
sorry,
not worried about
Sydney.
the expiration impending. Now, we have an especially dumb thing to talk about today because it's the end of 2025 and nothing has improved. I am sure many of you have already seen the recent announcement by Trump and the Secretary of Health and Human Services, RFK Jr., made here at the end of September that the FDA will be updating drug safety guidelines for Tylenol usage for pregnant women. Also known by its other name, acetaminophen, which I won't be saying too much because it's quite a mouthful, just the way Tylenol likes it. Anyway, the reason for this update is because some studies have associated Tylenol usage during pregnancy with adverse neurological outcomes in children. There is a suggested link to autism as well as other conditions like ADHD. So mothers are taking Tylenol for their headaches and giving their child a permanent one. I am kidding, obviously.
So currently, I think the women, specifically on the left, are taking Tylenol just to prove a point or just to prove Trump wrong instead of actually taking it for medical reasons or to recover. So they're not pretty much making use of the medicine for its actual use. They're just using it out of spite or for, or I don't know, it's quite petty.
We love mums on this channel. We respect mums on this channel, but the jokes, they kind of write themselves. I also know this is
Real
a very touchy
pathetic.
subject. Tylenol, giving all new meaning to big brain. Okay, I'll stop. Trump and RFK Jr. also announced a promising therapeutic treatment for kids with autism that also have folate deficiencies, which I'm not going to get into, but there you go, now you know. Now, although I am a doctor, I am not that kind of a doctor. I'm not a medical doctor, so I'm not going to weigh in here about whether or not all of this is true and fair and accurate. And even the administration, with these new findings, with this new information, has said that because there is conflicting data on the Tylenol subject, the Department of Health and Human Services is advising doctors to use their best judgment, oh god, and offer women the lowest possible dosage for the shortest amount of time when necessary. Which seems pretty fair and reasonable to me. I mean, pregnant women across the board are told not to eat deli meat because 0.012% of them end up getting listeria, which is a bacterial infection that does some kooky stuff. And yet, despite the fact that incidence of this infection is relatively rare, they are still told unilaterally to stay away from the cured pig meat. So if
I understand that. Okay, sure. If you're going to take Tylenol, just at least just make sure that you're going to use it for its use. Like, okay, maybe not use it just to prove someone wrong. Like, is the risk worth it? Because if you think about it, if you think about it, the weight of the the reward is not the same as the weight of the consequence, or like the punishment. So let's say you try to prove Trump wrong, right? And you're proven to be right 9 months later, or when your baby's born, and they're not autistic, and you're correct. What do you get? What benefit do you get? Like, um it just proves you're right. Fuck you, Trump. You're wrong about it. I'm right. And then what? And then what? What do you get? A feeling of I don't know, triumph, or that you won. And on the other side, when Trump is proven to be right, and your child is pretty much autistic, you pretty much attempted to ruin your child's life, potentially even yours, if you overdosed on Tylenol, right? I don't think it's the weight is the same. I don't think the reward is worth it. You don't get anything out of it if you're correct. You're just being hateful and smug about it if you're proven to be right. You don't get you don't get money out of it. You don't. I don't know.
If we can do some broad sweeping stuff over here, why can't we do the same thing when it comes to these kind of drugs? That's the real question that I have. So in response to this news, instead of being normal, sane people, progressive women on TikTok have decided to film themselves taking Tylenol while pregnant to, I don't know, spite Trump, to get the righties. I don't know the motivation behind this. I did tell you this is one hell of a gondola ride today.
28 weeks pregnant.
I mean, if you are a person with clout and you get a lot of views out of it, I mean, yeah, sure, you get, if you're monetized, it doesn't. It's still not worth it. Like, it's just one video. It's just one clip. It's just one fucking TikTok or reel or short. I don't think it's still not worth it, because it's your child's life. There's no comparing a person's life. Especially a baby's life. I don't know. It's just plain pathetic and stupid.
You know what I'm gonna take? Some Tylenol to see the benefit.
It's such a low IQ fucking thing to do.
It's gonna work like a charm, and my baby won't have autism.
And then what? Right? That's what. And then what?
Where are the husbands in all of this? Now, a lot of these videos don't have audio, but they feature mostly the same sort of caption.
Oh,
I'm
God.
pregnant and have a headache and still reaching for Tylenol. Sorry, not sorry. Orange man is not my OB. I love how they do this because they solely want other women to get on the internet and then seal clap for their utter stupidity. But I think the majority of us are over here like, do you have a dumb? Here's me, a pregnant woman taking Tylenol because I believe in science and not someone who has no medical.
I don't think it's coming from Trump. He's just announcing it. I don't think you understand that Trump has people who works in science labs, which relays information to him that Tylenol can be a risk of having your child autism. I don't think these people understand how a president works.
Background. I am willing to bet this woman wore a mask in her car and spent 3 years being afraid of air. Oh yes, I believe in science, but only when the people I like are telling me the science. I'm sorry, but you just look stupid. Stocking up on Tylenol because I know it doesn't cause autism. I am not kidding. I would love to know who is impregnating these.
Yeah, so based on your logic there, if you know that something will not do anything to you, does that mean you should take it? Like, what's the point? Like, there's no actual goal to it. Like, okay, for let's say for instance, um you see a kiddie pool, right? You're a full grown adult, and you see a kiddie pool, and you know it's not going to drown you if you go into it. Does that mean you're gonna take a dip in the kiddie pool? You're just doing it. There's no point in doing it. What the fuck?
Women, because it's feeling a little irresponsible on the part of the men. I don't know, guys. When I was growing up, I heard that rule a lot passed around men about not putting your man pickle in the crazy sauce, if you know what I mean. Hello chickens, editing Sydney from the future here, because I forgot to tell you that there is a kind of sauce that we do like on this channel, although it's not actually sauce, it's hot chocolate, and it's a kind of hot chocolate that helps you sleep, which is why today's video is sponsored by Beam. I have officially become a dream merchant because anytime anyone in my life says that they're having trouble sleeping, I immediately suggest they try Dream Sleep Hot Cocoa. I even recently used Dream in pill form on a long-haul flight a few weeks ago, and I slept the entire time. It's not very often that I find a brand that I like as much as Dream, but I think it's because this secondary point. I drink heading off to sleep. Honestly, it's really important to me, but I converted basically everybody in my life that Dream uses. So there are melatonin-free options. Then click the link in the description or go to
I've spent all my money on that ES
SydneyW,
Arcana.
and of course use code
Treasure.
SydneyW for up to 35% off today. She's actually even taking. I mean, at least this woman is obviously pregnant, but % off today. I mean, at least this woman is obviously pregnant, but I don't think she's actually even taking Tylenol here. This tablet is blue. I don't know, maybe there are blue tablets, but usually they're white. So this is what, like extra performing? And why does this read like a Tylenol commercial? Why have you positioned the bottles this way? What am I watching here? I am reaching for the Tylenol because I work in a pharmacy and know there's zero correlation between Tylenol and autism.
Yeah, this is what I mean. So based on that logic, you should take all of the drugs in the pharmacy because it doesn't cause it's not going to cause autism. Right? Oh, you should do meth or you should do cocaine. It's not going to cause your child autism. Like what the fuck are you talking about? What are you smoking?
A bold claim, zero correlation. Okay, pharmacy lady. I do think
Hey, maybe I should cut my hand off. It's not going to cause my child an autism. Like what the fuck?
that this last weird TikTok kind of does hit an odd nail on the head, given that there are a lot of people now who are making the claim that there's no relationship between this drug and negative birth outcomes. And yet there has been evidence mounting for years and years that says exactly the opposite, that does show a correlation between these two things. And I'm not saying how good or bad that evidence is, I'm just saying that it exists. A short trip down memory lane gives us an announcement from the FDA in 2015 suggesting a potential issue with Tylenol and pregnancy. This Johns Hopkins 2019 research paper, Taking Tylenol During Pregnancy Associated with Elevated Risks for Autism, ADHD, And this found that in newborns with the highest exposure to the core drug in Tylenol, they were about 3 times more likely to be diagnosed with ADHD or autism spectrum disorder in childhood, which is, that's alarming. In 2016, 2017, and 2021, and honestly, I'm sure that they have covered this previously as well, CNN ran pieces about the drug's relationship to risks of ADHD in kids and risks to pregnancy. Of course, now they've changed their tune to Big Pharma good, Orange Man bad, because who cares about consistency, am I right? There are, of course, other research papers and other studies and evaluations that have cautioned women against taking Tylenol while pregnant, as it may lead to potentially negative outcomes in babies. People have also dug up Tylenol's previous tweets, where the company seems to admit itself that taking the medication while pregnant is not advised, although,
Even they are addressing it. Even even the even the company itself or brand says it. Not only it wasn't only Trump, and yet these people keep on doing it. Hello?
Admittedly, this is contradicted by what is directly written on their website right now, which argues that it has been widely tested and is safe for women in all stages of their life. For some reason as well, the situation has given left-wing outlets this weird haha moment, where they've posted articles saying conservatives are mounting down about pregnant women taking Tylenol, or the women posting these videos in the first place mounting down.
I don't
This weird haha moment, where they've posted articles saying
I don't think conservatives are melting down. They're making fun of you. Because you look stupid. Okay.
conservatives are mounting down about pregnant women taking Tylenol, or the women posting these videos in the first place are in defiance of Trump. But I think that's
Yes. Defiance of Trump is worth it. Even when your child is would potentially be autistic when they're born. It's okay. It's okay to take the risk. As long as I will defy this president, even if it costs my child's life to have a normal one. Yeah, worth it for sure. Surely.
part of what's actually insane here. I personally am a big believer in adults making their own choices, but making good and educated choices, informed choices, which is why back when I made my video talking about hormonal birth control, I really hammered on the fact that a lot of us in our teens, when we're prescribed the pill, don't have what I would consider to be good informed consent. But that's obviously a conversation for another day. But I think hilariously, the informed consent, educated consent thing is what is sort of circling this entire topic. It's not as if Trump and co said, you can never ever take Tylenol ever again.
Yeah, Trump will never get anything out of it, out of saying that. He's just trying to warn the people. There's no benefit into saying that. There's no benefit to himself into saying that Tylenol can cause your child to have autism when you take Tylenol as a pregnant woman. He gets no benefit from that. He just wants to have people aware to be. He just wants people to be aware of what could be the risk of taking Tylenol when you're a pregnant woman. He doesn't get any personal benefit from that.
We're going to ban it and pull it off shelves and do all these things and restrict your access to it.
He's not doing it to destroy your life. If anything, it's to protect yours and your child as well. What the fuck? Hello?
They're saying when you take this, if you decide to take this, make sure that that's a good and informed decision. The Department of Health and Human Services has more or less said, use caution when taking this drug when you're pregnant and speak to your physician. And they didn't even say that it definitively causes autism. They said it's a factor in a series of factors. So all of these weirdos who are running around the internet ingesting this drug to, I don't know, own Trump, to own the right wing, are genuinely insane. These lunatic weirdos let their hate for Orange Man completely destroy their ability to use rational thought, because Trump and friends are not
Doing my civic duty as a pregnant woman and taking, yeah, right. It's your duty to risk your child of getting autism. Like, sure, it's just a factor. It could be a factor that um that would happen, but shit. I mean, if you're, why would you take that risk in the first place?
pulling this information out of their
Like, is it more important than your child's health?
buttholes. It's coming from Harvard and it's coming from other researchers and doctors. And if there is a potential that this drug causes autism, contributes to autism, whatever, I actually think it's a good thing that women have access to that information so that they can make their own decisions
It's
going
just so
forward.
stupid.
And I mean, as a complete aside, I would bet a lot of money that the people currently going bananas over this right now probably, were the trust the science folks during the big sneeze and think that Anthony Fauci is some sort of living god. So, there's that. And I've seen so many people share weird graphics saying autism is some sort of
Autism doesn't need a cure. Ableism does. Yeah, I'm not having that.
superpower that doesn't need to be fixed.
Number one piece of advice I can give for you: hire the most autistic person you know. I'm talking that motherfucker who goes nonverbal when there's groups bigger than 3. That is where the magic comes. Autism
Do people even know what autism is anymore? Are they absolutely sure that they know what the meaning of autism is?
in the trenches, it's alchemy for literal cash. I mean, people don't get this, right? You're scared of the kid who looks like he might, I won't say it on stream, right? But like, that kid is a gold mine. Man, the guy that made Call of Duty, you think he can speak and hold a regular conversation? No. People don't understand that weaponized autism is the key to greatness. I mean, my whole generation, bro, we all had a couple bad vaccines, but it's the motherfuckers who tried to steer away from that instead of just accepting that something is a little off. You know, we had some shit fried, but more importantly, that shit that was fried is the key to living like a beautiful life. Embrace that autism and then weaponize that shit. It's like so beautiful.
And maybe
That's one of the most retarded clips I've ever seen and or heard. Yeah. I don't think you know what autism is, little bro. I don't think you do. Yeah, hire an autistic person to fly a plane rather than hiring a normal person with all the credentials. Yeah, let's prefer autistic people over people with merit. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that there aren't autistic people with no merit or no achievements, but shit, you know the odds are, like, if I were to compare, or if I was someone to hire uh um like a pilot, I would rather hire a normal person, right? Unless the other one would have insane credentials or insane achievements to compare it to a normal functioning person. No? Am I fucking insane?
This is a bigger component to this than a lot of us realize, and I honestly don't want to get into it in detail in this video, but maybe part of the problem here is the fact
What I'm saying is, we shouldn't. I'm pretty sure that's a fucking rage bait. But yeah, just to be clear, I'm just saying we should not prioritize hiring people with uh with conditions that could affect that could affect their work and potentially other people and other people's or even their lives because it's a risk. No?
that people have over self-diagnosed with autism, and they have made autism this fun little quirky thing that you might have, that it refers to the sort of idiosyncrasies that individual people might have and display, rather than the debilitating neurological condition that it is that prohibits certain people from living full, fulfilling lives, that requires them to have full-time care, and really is a condition that's not fun at all. And I think something that really gets lost in all of this is that parents, regardless of their political leanings and persuasions, I would imagine, if they could, would snap their fingers and rid their children of the profound autism, as RFK Jr. calls it, because they know that this is no life for their little people, and this is no life even for their grown children that they continue to care for. And if they could give that child the opportunity to live a fulfilling, happy, normal life, they would do that. So I find it extremely upsetting and disappointing that this specific issue gets politicized as much as it does, because yeah, people have autism and they have it to varying degrees, but for the people who are profoundly affected by this condition, it's not just little quirkies and idiosyncrasies. It's a debilitating, challenging way to live, not just for the person who has it, but for the people who have to care for that individual.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it also not only it will um the person with autism has um has already a difficult or non-advantageous life. It will also affect the people around that person, and sometimes, if not often, not in a good way, because it takes some effort on taking care of that person. Yes, some effort, some resources.
And ensure that they do have a quality of life. I really didn't want to get all serious on you guys, but I do actually think this is a very serious topic, and I don't think that it's a political topic. I think that it's a non-partisan issue, and we should, I think, collectively be more focused on trying to find a way of bringing autism rates down. And so I'm sorry to the liberals who are upset about this, that this information is coming from people that you don't like, but they are committed to finding not a cure necessarily, I don't know.
I think the reason why they don't want to follow or they don't want to believe the people on the opposing side is because they already think that they are lying. They are lying to win. That's what I think leftists or liberals think.
Could exist, but they are committed to finding a way of ameliorating all of this for all of us. That last statement felt very pro-government, but hopefully you guys know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to get at, because I don't.
During COVID times, I was very skeptical about taking the vaccine because I really didn't want to take the vaccine because I wanted to decide for myself. But the only reason I took the vaccine is because it was required for my work, and it was required for me to travel to other countries. So I went to Singapore one time to attend the international. So I took that risk for my own benefit, not because the government said so. Not only because it was required for my work, so I need work. I don't want to lose my job. I need to get money, you know. It's almost I had no choice. But I made use of that in order for me to travel. So I really wanted to go to the international. So yeah, one it was yes, it was required of me to do, but at the same time it allowed me to do something that I want for myself. In total.
have a big brain, and I cannot.
And for this instance, you're not even required to. You're not even restricted to take into taking Tylenol. You're just being warned or advised.
Articulate myself today. The last thing I want to note really, really quickly, because I do really think it matters, and again, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, is the fact that a bunch of people are currently worshipping at the altar of Tylenol, and for some weird reason defending Big Pharma, because, okay. But what's not getting mentioned here is the fact that Tylenol as a brand has been at the heart of a bunch of not great lawsuits. It does cause negative effects on the body, and people routinely take too much of it, causing liver failure, kidney failure, high blood pressure.
Yeah, if you overdose on it. Yeah, just like any drug would or any substance would. And also, I want to be clear about what I said earlier about having the benefit of the doubt. So back then, I had trust issues with people because, you know, because of past experiences. So I would tend to think that other people are lying as well. So I would tend to think that I should trust and I shouldn't trust anyone, regardless. But it doesn't. It's not good. It doesn't do you any good. It takes out the opportunity for you to meet people who actually have good intentions or who actually has goodwill. And for this instance, I think it's out of goodwill because it's for your health and for your child's health overall. So yeah, I don't think I don't think it's okay to think that if you're on the left, I don't think it's okay that everyone on the conservative side is lying or doesn't have any good intentions of making your country better or great. Because maybe it's a you problem, you know?
There's all sorts of issues that are not associated with pregnancy. Now, ignoring all of this, including the new pregnancy information, because you don't like who is delivering it, because you don't like who is telling you the news, is reckless. Because like I said, this is not a political issue. This is a health and wellness issue. This is an issue surrounding us failing the next generation of little people who are being brought into the world with all sorts of conditions that we could avoid had we just listened a little bit better to the news and the information that was around us. Researchers have continually been waving the red flag when it comes to this issue, and it keeps getting swept under the rug. I have said this a million times, but I'm gonna say it again. Drug companies do not care about you. They just don't. They are not impressed. They do not give a crap about the fact that there's a bunch of women currently taking Tylenol and potentially harming their pregnancies. They don't care.
Yeah, that is on you. So so yeah, I think it's a you problem. Because you know, how you treat yourself, how you treat other people will always or how you react to things is will always be a reflection of who you are it says a lot about you than it does a lot about others. So for this instance, I think you're a piece of shit because you're disregarding the health of your child just to prove a point or to prove someone wrong. It's stupid. It's a it's a you problem.
About any of that. They don't think that you're some savior for their drug. All they care about is getting their drugs to market and whatever ways, whatever things they need to do to make that happen. That is what they care about. And I think to demonstrate that, all we really need to do is look at thalidomide, which was the drug that was prescribed to women, to pregnant women during the 50s and early 60s. It was a drug that was given to women for morning sickness, and yet it caused catastrophic birth defects. And the manufacturer of this drug, fun fact, knew about some of the drug's ill effects and chose not to publicize them, and this was a whole thing. Weirdly, this is one of the only things that I remember from the early days of my first degree, because we just did this like whole unit on something related to this. I don't know what it was, but anyway, I learned a ton about thalidomide. Don't ask me why this is the one thing I remember, but it is. So yeah, thalidomide was eventually, after all these babies were deformed and all these mothers and fathers and lives were traumatized and broken and destroyed, they finally pulled the drug off shelves and kind of were like, well, oopsie, look, we kind of messed up. This video has gotten really serious and I wasn't intending for it to, but I guess I care about this a lot, and I want to make the point that I think history tells us a lot about how drug companies are going to behave, because it's not as if they've changed since the days of thalidomide. They've just gotten much better at hiding their nonsense. Ultimately, I hate the fact that a bunch of mums are going to be looking at their autistic children and thinking, did I do something wrong? That makes me sad for them, it really does. But I am glad that there might potentially be some sort of answer to that question.
I'm pretty sure if that happens, they're just going to deny it. I'm pretty sure they will not take accountability for it. I'm sure they're just going to deny it. Oh, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm pretty sure it had nothing to do with what with the Tylenol that I took months ago. That I'm not a piece of shit of a mom. I mean, yeah, sure, it does happen to some people, like some complications. Like you did everything you could as a mom, but still you encountered some problems with your child having some sort of medical problem. It does happen, and you don't know where it comes from. But for this instance, you might want to think about that. You might want to think about you not doing everything you could to keep your child healthy. Only for this instance, of course, because it does happen.
Because even if it makes you feel bad, maybe it's good to know what happened and what transpired that might have led to a specific outcome. So on that front, although it's sad,
I mean, they're not even thinking about it right now. So I don't think they will think about what actually happened if it comes to show that their child is born with autism. I don't think they're gonna think about that, because right now they're not even thinking about the consequences of it. So yeah, I don't think so. I don't think they care enough to think about it if that happens.
bad. Maybe it's a good thing. And all these people who are running around taking these drugs as a form of protest are really just useful idiots. In the end, I do believe that knowledge is power, and I think that the more that we learn about specific conditions and the many, many contributing factors that lead to them, the better off we will be as a society. But for right now, I do wish that the people on TikTok would just stop. Now on that very happy and pleasant note, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder, check out Dream/Beam. Using the link in the description, I cannot sing the praises of this hot chocolate enough. I love this stuff. It's just become such a staple in my household. I really like this company. So if this is something that you think would work for you, absolutely check them out. And I hope you have a good sleep. Now I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Are you on my side of this issue where you're looking at this all unfold and just thinking, why would you do this? Why
Yes, I am definitely on your side. Of course.
would you politicize this? This is so silly.
Yeah, I'm not even taking sides here. I'm just taking the side of logic and common sense, pretty much. I'm not taking sides. I just think these liberals are fucking stupid. I'm not even saying all of them. I'm just saying all the people who are doing this. I have not seen any conservative do this so far. Not one.
Do you think that
But if there was, then that conservative is definitely stupid too. That I would say. So yeah, I'm not taking sides. I'm just taking um like a good look or a good view of um what people are doing. Like it's really stupid, the whole fucking situation or the trend that is happening right now.
people are doing what they're doing on TikTok because they're trying to protest Trump? What do you think underpins that? Because I don't really think I have an answer to that. Do you think that there is actually a meaningful relationship between Tylenol and autism? And do you think that's something that maybe we should explore further? What do you think of all of the little components surrounding this issue? The fact that the media are making fun of Trump and co for this, the fact that in years gone by, they've pointed out the relationship between this drug and autism, and what do you generally make of this issue overall?
I mean, more studies, of course. I would take. I would of course have. Uh, I would consider getting more studies, exploring more. But if it is a factor, and then maybe try to avoid it. I mean, there's no harm in trying to avoid it. There's only risks if you don't, or if you take it while being pregnant. Like all you have to do is basically do nothing. If you're not sick, then do nothing. Don't do anything. Like don't take it. That's it. It's not that hard. It's it's not that difficult to do because you're basically doing nothing.
As always, if you've made it this far in the video, congratulations. I always like having you along for the full ride. If you are new here and you're not subscribed to the channel and you would like to see more of me and more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe, as well as leaving this video a like and a comment, because I do read the majority of them. I really do. My mom called me out. She was like, I bet you don't. And I was like, no, I really do. And I like hearing your feedback. Of course, my little chickadee noodle people, I hope you stay safe and well and make very good choices, because those are important. And I will see your wonderful little faces in the next video.
Great video as per usual from Sydney Watson. I've been watching her for a while. Although this is my first upload or first reaction video of her to a topic. Yeah, I'll link the video in the description. Drop a like. She's cool. And I'll see you on the next. Bye bye.
Love.